Testing. Test. Test. On your computer?
I'd like to call this council meeting to order. Would you please stand and join me in the saying of the pledge? Mr. Huntsberger, would you lead us in the pledge, please? Please remain standing for a moment of silent prayer or meditation. Thank you. Melody, would you do a roll call?
Councilman Holt.
Present.
Councilman Curry.
Here.
Councilwoman King. Here. Councilman Mishler.
Present.
Councilman Fish.
Here.
Councilwoman Hines. Here. Councilman Crabtree.
Here.
Councilman Hinkie. President Dawson.
Right. Just a reminder, make sure you're speaking to the mic when you're speaking. That goes for the public as well. Make sure our phones are in airplane mode or silent. Let me make sure mine is. Okay, can I get a motion for the minutes for approval for May 4th, 2026 City Council meeting?
So move.
Got a motion for Mr. Crabtree, second for Mr. Fish. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sound. Motion carries. Okay, unfinished business presentation and introductions. Elkhart County Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Convention and Visitors Bureau. Just want to make a I'm going to start over. A brief presentation to say thank you for your continued support of tourism here in Elkhart County. I have provided each of you our latest area guide for the people and places that promotes and celebrates our entire Elkhart County community and the 7 communities within it. Additionally, I've also provided you a small pamphlet. We recently celebrated National Tourism and Travel Week. And so we just want to, this document, Tourism Matters in Elkhart County, basically explains who we are, how we're organized and what we do and the measured impact that we have, that tourism has in Elkhart County. Within that, additionally, I'd like to highlight and celebrate within that, we are about ready to start with our quilt gardens for this year. So this will be our 19th year to celebrate the quilt gardens here in Elkhart County. And what I've provided for you is all of the quilt gardens, the designs that have been planned by each of the working groups for those quilt gardens, as well as their locations throughout Elkhart County along the Heritage Trail. We also have additional quilt murals that go along with that. So we're happy to celebrate the 19th year, and next year will be a milestone for 20 years. So just as a reminder, those quilt gardens are all provided and designed by volunteer groups. We obviously support by marketing and promoting the quilt gardens, and also by providing the flowers and the marketing that go along with them. But the volunteer groups by each of the area organizations to both plan, design, plants, fertilize, weed, water to ensure that those gardens are in full bloom from Memorial Day to Labor Day. It's an all hands on deck type of experience, but each community takes an immense amount of pride in those quilt gardens. And we have, if I count my numbers right, it's 3 area quilt gardens here in Elkhart that we celebrate as well. Additionally, I'd like to point out within that Tourism Matters, I provided a sheet that highlights something new that we are working with our partners here in Elkhart County. It is called Northern Signature Experiences in Northern Indiana. And that is a program that we are working with partners to really create a unique experience when visitors, not only visitors, but residents want to go out and explore their community. What we've tried to do is create something very unique that is limited edition, requires a reservation, and at some point does require a deposit. So it is something that someone walking into, whether you're going to the Beardsley House, the new visitor center, or if you're going over to the Wellfield or the Hall of Heroes, you don't necessarily, you get an experience, but with this, the signature experiences, you get something very unique. There's a story that goes along with it. It's a 2-hour experience. They get to go in and kind of dig a little bit deeper and go further than what your normal visitor experience may be. So we're really excited to roll that out this year. We are partnering not only with 6 of our partners here in Elkhart County, but we've linked arms with St. Joe County to have 3 additional experiences there. 2 in St. Joe County, 3 in LaGrange County. So a total of 11 experiences throughout our 3 counties. So we're very excited to be promoting that as well. I just have a couple of reminders for everyone. Tomorrow, hey, we are going to have a business after hours. If you have never been to the visitor center up on Cassopolis, right at exit 92 along the Cassopolis corridor, if you've never been to the visitor center, please come up and stop by the visitor center from 5 to 7. We have a business after hours celebration. So you can come in and see what all we have to offer for our visitors and our residents. Also, proud to support, again, the Jazz Festival coming up June 18th through the 21st, as well as August 29th. You may have heard Celebration Under the Stars is back. And I've heard some amazing comments coming through our social threads that everyone is super excited about that Celebration Under the Stars. And so please come out. If you're not aware of it, I'll tell you more later. So again, we're just proud sponsors of everything Elkhart County, as well as Elkhart. I would be remiss to if I did not mention that we are proud sponsors of the Elkhart Rail 175 series as well. So there's a lot going on down at the Railroad Museum, so please check that out. And with that, I will pause and ask if you have any questions.
Any questions of John? Mr. Hinkey?
Thank you for your enthusiasm.
welcome.
Appreciate that and the things that are coming forward. For the record, I wanted to, because we haven't had a conversation, so I wanted to find out, what is the current percent of innkeeper's tax?
It is 5%.
5%? Okay.
Yes, sir.
And does the city of Elkhart pay a membership fee to the Visitors Bureau?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. Can you book Neil Diamond at the Under the Star?
That sounds amazing. I will look into that.
You better do it quickly. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your
Yes, sir.
help.
You're welcome.
Why not Paul McCarthy? All right. Thank you. Any more questions for
Carolina.
John? If not, John, thank you very much. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
5 to 7 tomorrow, Convention Visitors Bureau.
Yes, sir.
Be there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Mayor, did you have anything? Okay, thank you, Mayor. Ordinance on second and third reading. Proposed ordinance 26-0-20R. Would you please read this by title?
Proposed ordinance 26-0-20-R. An ordinance appropriating $337,230 from the general fund for the Napanee Street pedestrian bridge.
Thank you. Mr. Mishler.
Yes, point of order. I've been informed that this ordinance will require to be tabled due to publication requirements. John, can you maybe explain what exactly happened?
Under a new law that was effective
State your name
January,
for the record.
John Esper, Corporation Counsel. Under a new law that became effective January 1st, 2026, the city is required to upload the notice of an additional appropriation and specific information through the through the gateway system. And that applies to, well, and that has to take place 14 days before the public hearing. Computer glitch on the state's side prevented us from uploading that information in a timely manner, and consequently, subsequent review by the DLGF was that we'll have to kick it out for a new date for the 14 days to take, for the advance notice of 14 days to play out.
So is this even considered on first read this time? Or will we have to keep it in first read for the first meeting in June?
The problem is that we need 14 days in advance of the public hearing.
Okay.
So it's been posted, 14 days will have passed by the June public hearing date. So we don't have to continue the first reading, we just have to continue the second reading
Thank you.
and public hearing.
Mr. Hinkie.
John, thank you for the explanation. I was talking with Councilman Mishler earlier. Last council session, we also tabled two other ordinances, secondary to the same thing. And since this was a change January 1st, I'm having difficulty finding why it's such a problem now. And it hasn't been prior. Has something changed? You said it was a state glitch.
That's correct.
So
We were unable to upload it. It kept getting rejected. And then on,
maybe they're bad
Tuesday.
ordinances.
pardon me?
Maybe they're bad ordinances, and that was their way of saying so. No, but it was just concerning because some things are going to be very timely. And I'd hate to have this glitch push us 2 weeks out or even 2 weeks after that. So hopefully this will get resolved.
That's the expectation.
Thank you.
We hope the state can do that, get it resolved, so it doesn't happen again. Mr. Mishler.
As such, I will make a motion to table.
Got a motion to table, second by made by Mr. Mishler, second by Mr. Hinkie. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Ordinances referred to committees, ordinance 26-0-18 will remain tabled. Ordinance 26-0-19 will remain tabled. Ordinance on first reading. Would you read proposed ordinance 26-0-21 by title, Melody, please?
Proposed ordinance 26-0-21, an ordinance annexing certain real estate commonly known as intersection of County Road 6 and Northland Drive, Elkhart, Indiana, 46514, and declaring the same to be part of the city of Elkhart, Indiana.
If there are no objections, this shall pass on the second reading. Would you read proposed ordinance 26-0-22 by title?
Proposed ordinance 26-0-22, an ordinance appropriating $214,697.37 from the Capital Outlay Fund to other funds account and authorizing the controller to transfer the funds to the Hively Avenue Overpass Fund.
If there are no objections, this will pass on to second reading. Yes,
Is there a reason our monitors are not functioning?
when you say your monitor,
On our desk.
Is it turned on?
is yours turned on? And usually, if you turn them on, they usually work.
No one's ever turned them on before.
Okay.
Kidding?
Would somebody help him turn it on? You got it?
On the right, that'd have been good.
Yes.
Yeah. Make sure they're turned on the next one.
All right, so next,
I didn't know if I was going to do it. Mine's usually.
I know what you guys are trying to do.
It's not on.
Okay,
There's not a button on the right-hand side.
okay. I don't think it's
That's, I'll use the bigger monitor, but if they would somehow look at these things.
you good, David? Good,
Good.
all right. Would you read proposed ordinance 26-0-23 by title, please?
Proposed ordinance 26-0-23, an ordinance appropriating $214,697.37 for the Highway Avenue Overpass First Interest Loan Payment.
Thank you. If there are no objection, this shall be passed on the second reading. Would you read proposed resolution 26-R-13 by title, please?
Proposed resolution 26-R-13, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, approving the application for Community Development Block Grant Funds and recommending submission of the application by the mayor for approval.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bichler, second by Mr. Fish.
Good evening, Mary Casca, Assistant Director, Community Development, City of Elkhart. This is the second annual action plan of our 5-year plan of Community Development Block Grant Funds. This year, as normal, we started our planning process at the beginning of the year with a number of public sessions, also requiring that anybody that wanted to apply for funds as public service recipients of funds needed to attend those meetings. And those started back in January and February. Then we developed the plan itself, and it went through a public hearing through the Redevelopment Commission back in last month in April. And we're here today to have you consider a resolution to approve submission of this plan for Community Development Block Grant funding for program year 26, which will start on July 1. We anticipate receiving $744,001. And when we add that to program income and a little bit of reappropriated money from previous year, we're looking at being able to work with $773,450 for the next program year, July through June of 27. The plan allocates these funds into several different goals and objectives. The most significant goal will be in housing supply, and housing quality. When we establish that category, we kind of have some flexibility within that category as long as it's related to housing. It could be anything from owner-occupied rehab to assisting someone with home buyer assistance, as we've done in the past couple of years here. And we're also contemplating being able to do some rental rehab assistance, people that own rental homes, so that we can improve the quality of our existing housing. So that's by far the most significant category of funding, where funds will be allocated within the general housing category, and that's $428,650. 20% of our funds are set aside for planning and admin, and that's mostly for staff support, things like title searches and legal fees and that sort of thing. We pay with planning and admin. We also have a cap on our public service, which is 15% of our total allocation. So we are proposing in this plan to provide funds to about 6 subrecipients. These would still need to be approved by the Redevelopment Commission once we actually receive our allocation, which usually doesn't happen till about September. So we have had 6 applications that we've received and vetted and approved of funding through the public service cap. So moving on, we're also allocating $60,000 to improve neighborhood conditions, public facilities and improvements. So with that means we can do things like sidewalks, curbs, alleys, that sort of thing in a neighborhood as part of a bigger plan, for example, the Benham plan. $21,000 to reduce insecurities for homeless. This is typically probably a subrecipient that would be, who would be dealing with homeless, and they would be carrying out services to the homeless. Additional special needs for insecurities, people who are, for example, we have funded in the past Council on Aging, who provides transportation for income qualified individuals. Or for example, the Boys and Girls Club for after-school programs for, again, income qualified students. So that's what would fit into that category. And the last category of 40,000, which is increased household income, we're going to shift into something with a little more economic development flavor to it than I think we've had in the past. And this is to provide some micro loans for small business, to assist small businesses to start up. And so this allocates funds for that kind of use. We do not have the program designed for that yet, but that would come later. So that's generally the allocation of how the funds would be used in the next program year. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Questions? Mr. Mishler?
Yes, thank you. I was just wondering if you could briefly touch on how the program worked out last year when we approved those funds. We see this come in front of us regularly, and I know that's one thing that Councilman Hanke likes to harp on a bit, is what measurables have we seen, what improvements from these organizations have we donated to?
The subrecipients or just generally?
Either or.
Okay, so the subrecipients are required to provide reports to us as part of their commitment when they sign an agreement to be a subrecipient. So this is generally kind of how we get our numbers of beneficiaries. And those are reported in what's called IDIS. So there's a public system there where we report those beneficiaries and kind of how we come up with these numbers of beneficiaries. On the other side of the equation, we've done a lot more in the owner-occupied rehab arena. And also this year, we were able to fund, working with Habitat for Humanity, using public facility funds, infrastructure for one of their housing subdivisions on County Road 15 called Legacy Park. We will be funding about $235,000 of the infrastructure and the road and sewer and that sort of thing
Excellent.
to support. It's about 22 homes, which is really, I think, a good return on investment to generate 22 affordable homes. We've also done 3 home buyer programs where La Casa and Habitat have worked together to qualify people in becoming homeowners between La Casa and Habitat.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, and so the way the program works, in about September, we will come back to you with our formal report for program year 25, which will be ending at the end of June.
Thank you. And if I could, real quick, for those who haven't seen the packet or the agenda, the CDBG application is rather lengthy. I think it's that details all the programs. It's over 50 pages. And some of those that you've touched on already include housing rehabilitation and development projects, first-time homebuyer assistance, neighborhood sidewalk lighting, street and infrastructure improvements, transportation assistance for seniors through the Council on Aging, support for the YWCA Safe Haven Domestic Violence Shelter, Maple City Health Medical and Dental Service, emergency rental assistance to help prevent homelessness, Boys and Girls Club youth programs, St. James AME food pantry support, and as you mentioned, micro loans. This is all good stuff that is much needed in our community, and I'm happy to support it.
Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Fish?
Thank you for being here. I'm always excited about this program because it helps the community a lot. So I have 2 questions. Number 1, when will be the first date that people could contact the office for this cycle of money?
July 1.
July 1. Could you explain a little bit more about the curb and sidewalk portion of this? You'd said there's some money set aside for that.
I think, like in housing and neighborhood improvement, if you can do some public improvement side, curbs and sidewalks. It has a big impact on the whole neighborhood. I think it uplifts everybody that lives there to see good sidewalks and curbs and alleys and that sort of thing. So we wanted to set aside some funds that we could direct in that way as we are focusing now, working with the chamber, say in the Benham East neighborhood, or really anywhere in the NSRA, the Neighborhood Stabilization Revitalization area, and also beyond that area as well. But where perhaps the public works could not come in and do something like that, we can come in and use those funds.
So let me be a little more specific. I have potentially two folks who could use something like this, but one for sure that would need concrete work done to it. They had some sewer work done, but they had to take the sidewalk out. I want to make sure we're.
It's the public sidewalk, right? Yes. Yeah, as long as they're income qualified, I think we could take a look at that.
Okay, would any of this money be, there's a section right next to the house that would need to be replaced. Could that be done with this money?
It really has to be on the public side.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I just wanna
public
make sure.
facilities and infrastructure.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, having good, safe sidewalks is important in the neighborhood. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Inky?
Thank you for the time that we had this week on another matter. You know, we can call it harping on, but I would prefer to be being responsible for taxpayers' money. There's things on here that I couldn't agree with, but there's a couple of questions. One, Habitat is not on here, Guidance Ministries are not on here, but what is, and I think it goes to a broader question of administration, Council on Aging, do they still get free rent, free utilities? Because they also are getting free donations from two different departments of the city of Elkhart. So then they're on this page for $15,000, right? Is this in addition to all the other benefits for church or for Council on Aging?
Yes, they have to report back to us who they provide the service to. And as long as they are qualified beneficiaries as far as income and who live in the city of Elkhart, once they document that, then they're eligible to use these funds.
Because in my mind, the realism is all of these other benefits that are taxpayer expenses are already their donations. So this is a donation on top of all the other donations that taxpayers are providing. The next one I would suggest is La Casa. They too are 501c3. They get their grants. We've given land, we've given buildings, we've given a lot of things to support La Casa in many, many ways. And yet we also now have direct donations through, I'm assuming it's CDBG neighborhood as well. Whereas my argument back is Habitat turns houses over to private ownership and helps support the supply line. That would be my big issue there.
Yeah, if I could just, respond to that. So with La Casa and Habitat, what we've done in this last year with the funds, the funds really go to the home buyer to benefit them as they put their capital together to be able to purchase and afford one of these new homes. So most of the funds that flow to the home buyer. There was a small amount of admin money because La Casa is a certified HUD housing counselor. So there's a small amount of the money, I think it was $4,500, which was used to pay for the administrative side of their providing the counseling to that home buyer to become a homeowner and understand all the requirements and things of being a homeowner. In that case, La Casa was only getting a small amount of administrative funds.
Are they selling the homes at market rate?
They are selling them at a rate that's affordable for the homeowner.
Yeah.
And again,
My point to it again, though, I appreciate your forwardness and honesty. But even the coaching to allow people to be hopefully successful as homeowners comes at a cost from La Casa. So I'm just pointing that out because that walks right into Goodwill Industries. If you would look up on their corporate level, they are the highest paid CEO for a 501c3, along with all of their administrative team would not support that. My biggest one, though, that I hope that we can get some resolution on. Oak Lawn Psychiatric Center, most recently, the city had donated nearly $700,000 for their new crisis center, Goshen. And the last I knew, the last report was it wasn't functional yet, wasn't serviceable yet.
If I could, on that, Councilman Henke, the funding for the Oakland Crisis Center came from funding the city received through the opioid settlement. And the crisis center is fully up and functional, to my understanding.
And I would like a report on those from Elkhart County, 700,000 that was donated. There should be some form of reporting back as to the measurable.
Mr. Henke, we're getting way off of the CDBG
We're
resolution.
giving them more money.
I
So
know,
my
but for the
question is,
past 26 years, you've made the same argument to no avail. But if you make,
So
and I
there's-
appreciate it, but if you could stick with the
Therefore, that's why I
resolution
don't support it.
itself, we could move on. And you haven't supported for 26 years, and I appreciate that. That's your prerogative. But at least stick to the topic. Is there any more
the
questions?
is not there. They're poor expenditures. and we
Thank
keep
you very
giving more
much.
money.
I'm going to open it up. Thank you very much. I'm going to open up to the public. Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak with regards to this resolution? Seeing none, returning back to the council. Melody, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Holtz,
Aye.
Councilman Curry,
Yes.
Councilwoman King,
Yes.
Councilman Mishler,
Aye.
Councilman Fish,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines,
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilman Hinkie,
No,
President Dawson,
Aye.
8-1.
Thank you. Would you read proposed resolution 26-R-14 by title, please?
Proposed Resolution 26-R-14, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, adopting a written fiscal plan to define a policy for the provision of services to the area commonly known as intersection of County Road 6 and Northland Drive, Elkhart, Indiana, 46514, a proposed annexation area.
Thank you. Heard the motion and a second to adopt this resolution.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Mishler, second by Mrs. Hines. Council discussion. Mr. Huber.
Good evening, Council. Mike Huber, Development Services Director, City of Elkhart. You all have a copy of the annexation fiscal plan in the packet. This is a annexation that was voluntarily applied for by Norco Industries near Reedy Drive. They are looking to expand their operations into property that's currently in the county. The initial scope of the project is to create some outdoor storage areas and parking areas to keep some RV-related frames out there. They are also planning a secondary expansion of their building and real estate into that space. I know that there's a representative from the company that's also online. Just want to hit the couple highlights, not get into the fiscal plan in any deep details, but just recognize that the current AV of the undeveloped property that will be annexed is about $575,000. By annexing that in, that would actually increase the levy, the city's levy for the next fiscal year by about $10,000. Additionally, post-construction of just the parking and storage areas, not the building expansions, but it's anticipated that the first phase of construction of the improvements would be about $4 million. Post-construction AV, that should bring an additional $1.8 to $2.5 million of AV into the city. While that's not going to necessarily directly contribute to additional levy. By the time that's completed with the construction, it will, however, add additional AV to the city's total levy and help us to reduce impacts of some of the property tax caps in the future. That once the building plans become more known and the estimates of construction are more known, we'll know the impacts of that future as well. I do want to highlight that there are really no measurable increases to costs to the city identified in the fiscal analysis. Any new sewer or water or capital constructions related to roads or streets will all be paid for by the developer. And we're able to serve this pretty easily with the new fire station Station 6 in that area. So happy to answer any questions that you might have about this fiscal.
Thank you.
plan.
Questions? Mr. Fish?
So, Mike, on page 7 there, about water service, do we have a line going in front of that now?
Yeah, it's their building next door is already served. So it will be able to be and any costs associated with any additional line expansion would be borne by the developer.
The other question is, as far as a contiguous connection, it says 25% is that above the
Yeah,
norm?
the requirement in the statute is 12.5%.
12.5. Thank you.
Mr. Hinkie?
I appreciate Norco, good corporate citizen, I believe, and I like the expansion of Elkhart City's boundaries. Would there then need to be any zoning changes on the annexed properties?
Yeah, I believe it's not currently, I think it's currently zoned ag or something, and it'll be brought in as a manufacturing zone.
So it would be an M1 to
That's correct.
match? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Huber. I'll open up to the public. Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak with regard to this resolution? Seeing none, we turn it back to the council. Melody, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Holtz,
Aye.
Councilman Curry,
Yes.
Councilwoman King,
Yes.
Councilman Mishler,
Aye.
Councilman Fish,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines,
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilman Hinkie.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
9-0.
Thank you. There are no vacation hearings. Other new business, or any other new business? Mr. Hinkie?
I did receive a notice. I don't think it was by accident, but it speaks to Elkhart Superior Court, a dismissal of some. I would have liked to have known a little bit more about it. The letter's not, did everyone get this one? I'm just wondering if it came in my packet accidentally or what happened there.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
But it is interesting. I'm asking for help. I know we've had some changeover at the police department. I've been working with the neighborhood surrounding 206 Homewood. And so I would hope with the police department that we could do some follow-up. I've been promised a couple of times, but because of turnover, maybe that's what happened. The neighbors said that they have called into city zoning and they've called the police department for 206 Homewood. Broken vehicle with broken windows that is in the street, along with a basketball hoop on one half of the street. The neighbors don't want it to become a normal. And I totally agree with that. Let them protect their neighborhood, but they do need city support to do something about it. I've called in to police, the prior chief. I've talked to the administrative secretary who is supposed to get it to the right people. And the report I got today is no one's contacted them and no one has been there. So I would like some help there. I hate to think that constituents aren't getting the responses that they should be getting from any of us, quite honestly. And I'm not an officer, so I'm not going to go out there and make judgments. A couple of the other areas in that same neighborhood were addressed. This particular and I also gave the primary person's name and phone number. A police officer was supposed to get in contact with her, and she said, as of today, no one's been in contact. So we're several weeks out. And I would like this to be followed up with, Chief, if we could do that.
Hey, David, I just want to ask you, since you're one of my constituents, when you have problems like that, give me a call. I can help you out. I can.
Well, the question would be, and I haven't been up here 26 years, but the question would be, how can
Thank you
you
very
get it
much.
done?
Is there
And I
anyone
can't
else?
seem to get it
Mr.
done.
Mishler?
Thank you. I just want to thank Alex Allen and the muralists down at the Benham Underpass for doing a fantastic job. I've heard a lot of wonderful things about the work being done down there. And if you get a chance to drive through it, take a look. I think it looks fantastic. If for whatever reason you aren't a fan of it, as a personal big fan of public artwork, I don't think the right approach is to attack the art, but to help fund more art if you want to see something different. Let's continue to fill up our public spaces with sculptures and art everywhere. In the River District, we recently had a beautiful fountain that was, had the ribbon cutting for that. So there's plenty of space in our community for artwork everywhere. And they're doing a fantastic job on the Benham Underpass.
I believe the fountain will be on tonight at 7:30. If you want to go down to the Delta, it'll be on tonight at 7:30. Anyone else? Okay. Reports, Mayor, Board of Works, department heads. Seeing none, we'll move on.
Thank you for allowing me to step up and just share with you a couple of events that are on its way. So Memorial Day is obviously Monday, and that we will have a parade for Memorial Day. So come one, come all to the Memorial Day parade. It starts at, help me, we'll get there. 11? All right, it starts at 11 and it'll go down Main Street. In addition to that, Wednesday, we will have want to make sure that the ribbon cutting,
11 o'clock.
the
11 o'clock.
groundbreaking for the Hively Avenue overpass will be Wednesday at
11
o'clock. All right, just want to make sure the public knows, and we know we're on time, so we want to make sure that we honor that opportunity to celebrate. Oh, I can't see that far. All right, I'm getting a note here. We also, and I think you mentioned tonight the fountain.
Yes.
Is going to be cut on tonight in the River District outside, right outside of the doors, the north doors of the Aquatic Center. And if you can make it, please come. It's a wonderful display of public art. And We Impact Group has actually donated that to that space. And I think it's a wonderful tribute to public art inside of our city, and you should absolutely see it. It almost looks like gold dust coming out of a fountain. So you got to make sure that you get down and see that. Are there any other ribbon cuttings or events that we have coming down the pike that we make sure we let the council and the public know? The Ori Park groundbreaking on June 1st. Please come out and see the vision for Ori Park.
I think it's going to be the Edith Pasley groundbreaking, to be precise.
Not yet, hasn't come yet, but it's on its way. At any rate, though, it's a remodeling of Ori Park. And obviously we're going to recognize some other stakeholders that happen to be in the city, that has been in the city historically for many years. That park will be reimagined and revisited. And June 1st, you'll learn more about it. I'd also like to introduce Andy Whitmire as our new interim police chief until we have till the process of finding a new police chief has been evolved and happened. So Andy, thank you for stepping into the role. I've sworn him in, and he handles all of the matters in relationship to the police department. And obviously I appreciate his decision to step into that role. So thank you, Andy. I think That's it. That's the only thing I see on this note that I could not see from over there. Anything else? I think I already,
The mayor, what time is the ceremony at Rice? Memorial
oh,
Day?
at Rice is at 11 o'clock.
At Rice, at the 9 or 11? Parade starts at 11, so it's probably at 9.
Yeah, you're right. So the parade starts at 11. So, Rice, the Memorial Day celebration at the cemetery will be at 9 o'clock at Rice.
Yes.
Okay, so 9 at Rice, 11 o'clock downtown for the parade. All right,
Thank you, Mayor.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, neighborhood association reports.
Well, the Pia Moran Neighborhood Association haven't met since our last meeting, where we did attend the meeting that the city held with Hugo and the other department heads at Magnolia Park, and thought that was a good meeting, and have had some great discussion then and a good party in our neighborhood, which I was invited to.
You did get the invitation in. Okay.
Yes.
All right, any other? Seeing none, yes, you may.
You know, it just seems as though things, I shouldn't say it slipped my memory. I didn't think that Ashley Hughes was here. But she is. Ashley Hughes, who was the administrative assistant inside of our office, has stepped into the role of the National New York Railroad Museum director. And Ashley has had experience in owning her own business in relationship to restoration and building. And we really believe that she's going to provide an emphasis down there. Unfortunately, Brent Holloway has retired, but not retired. So he's going to serve as volunteer, and he would also be available from this point forward in that role. So they're going to be working together, quite frankly. But Ashley steps into that role, and we really do appreciate her willingness to do so.
Did she volunteer or was she railroaded into this?
Don't quit your day job. Do not quit your day job.
We would. I understand the pun, I think. But quite frankly, she steps into that role not as a volunteer, but as a department head, and we really do appreciate her decision to do so. And so, no, she was not railroaded into the position. No problem.
Yes. Having worked with Ashley on the 100 Learner Committee, I mean, she's the right person for the job. She's very meticulous in what she does. Okay. Privilege of the floor. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on anything that was not on the council agenda tonight? Please come forward and state your name, please.
Hello, my name is Chad Rapp. I live at 218 Karen Drive. Last time I was here, Mr. Hinkie asked me about the meeting with the city. I gave pretty bad answers, but I had to stop and think I needed a little more information. I'm going to give that information. I have a letter from Todd Sanders written for his person he was representing. Says enclosed is a letter from the city of Elkhart, which certainly you have in your files. A neighbor, without consulting the other neighbors, evidently approached the city and unfortunately caused the Karen Drive issue to result in terminating of the street improvements and other maintenance. We understand this is, of course, distressing to the neighbors. We further understand that the city letter correctly describes the situation. Karen Drive is a private drive for residential purpose, for purpose of ingress and egress to the residents on the real estate subject to the affidavit. A concern of the neighbors and the Becks is the use of the property that may be contemplated by the person initiating that affidavit. The fear of the Becks. Come on. Oh, there it is. And the neighbors, as we understand it, is that The particular neighbor has the commercial use in mind and intends to sell his parcel to a commercial user with the ultimate potential for not only a direct commercial use on Karen Drive, but also a way of ingress and egress to the adjacent business. And also the potential for Karen Drive to become a means of access to the much larger commercial development, such as Walmart. The Becks, of course, shall vigorously oppose the affidavit and the proceeding that must be contemplated by the affidavit. The Becks and their companies have always been good neighbors, have respected the residents' character of the neighborhood to the west of their parcels, and are ready, willing, and able to enter into private drive easement agreement mutually acceptable to the Becks and those residents, property owners. No one has approached the Becks yet to ask. That goes along with the attorney's letter from the city stating that the city acknowledges it's a private drive and won't interfere. When the city got the property of Karen Drive from Gates and Gurley Leap and turned that first 513 feet into a public way, you broke the easement. It is a private drive. What was done is wrong and it needs fixed. We're not going to stand for it. Everything I have ever said in front of every committee and council member has been true. I won't stand for it, and I'm going to sue. This is to let you know it's happening. It's not going to last no more. We're not going to put up with it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else in the audience?
Howard Turner, Beach Street, Elkhart. Friday is the curbside concert at our public library. I am very excited. Weather is good. We get outdoor music. I also like the mural. I got to see it as I was glimpsing through it Saturday morning. I do have a question. Is it going underneath the viaduct or is it just the part outside? Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, return to the council's floor. No scheduling of committee meetings, acceptance of communication.
So move.
A motion by Mr. Crabtree, second by Mr. Fish, that we accept communications. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to adjourn. A motion by Mr. Mishler, second by Mr. Fish. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.